The Game Awards were this week. You know who's there? Bill Clinton.
Oh! Welcome to
back
Time Sweeps.
Welcome back to Good Mythical Morning. What if we start a morning talk show?
I'm cool with it.
We might get sued. It's okay though.
As long as we don't call it Good Mythical Morning, we're fine.
Welcome back. Welcome back to bad normal night.
What's the opposite of mythic?
Normal.
Nonfiction. Bad non-fictional nighttime.
Welcome back to bad. What was the
Bad
T word?
Bad. Or wait.
You said someone said a T word.
It's a bad non-fictional nighttime.
I was thinking of a T word, but I didn't actually come out of my mouth.
What'd you say?
I was thinking of the word terrific.
No, because it was gonna be like traditional. It's something tonight. Bad
traditional morning, guys. Bad traditional night.
It was the opposite of mythical, and someone said a T word.
Turd.
True.
No, I don't know.
We'll look up antonyms later. All right. Ready?
I guess.
All right.
And we're back.
So the Game Awards happen.
The Game Awards did happen, and
Bill Clinton won.
Bill Clinton won.
Bill Clinton won
Game of the Year.
Game of the Year. Reformed Orthodox rabbi Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
Okay, so if y'all don't know what's going on here, so like whenever Elden Ring won, right? There's just this random dude up on the stage. I don't know if he was a part of their dev team.
It's the reason why Wedding Crashing works is because that no one knows who invited the guy.
Right.
Yeah. So like,
but
but how he got up there, no one knows, and how the devs weren't like, who the hell are you? Like they just let him speak. They just let the chaos go, and I mean,
he got applauded.
Yeah.
He got applauded.
Didn't Stray won Indie Game of the Year?
I think it did.
I think so.
Yeah.
And people were referring to it as the cat game.
The cat game.
The cat game. I mean.
But yeah, so God of War won everything except Game of the Year, and I was kind of like, oh.
Well, it came out so late in the year. I don't think enough people have played
Well, the
it.
argument against God of War as Game of the Year, in Elden Ring over God of War, is that Elden Ring has millions more opportunities for replayability.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's kind of like Witcher 3. Like it's like, you know,
it's kind of like
you can play it so many times and have different experiences each time.
Yeah, that's kind of like along the lines of Fallout 4 when it got something. Didn't it get Game of the Year that year?
I don't know. I don't know
because
if Fallout
I know there's a
4
Game
did.
of the Year edition.
I don't know if Fallout.
Then yeah.
Well, yeah, it would have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Fallout 3 didn't it get Game of the Year?
Game of the Year in New Vegas definitely did.
Yeah.
But I don't know about 4. I know 76 didn't. Let's put it that way.
Well, yeah, 76 didn't because it's
that's
76.
perfectly.
So it was
Bethesda
Elden
has-
Ring. It was
Bethesda
Elden
has a
Ring.
lot of
Then it was
Game of the
back 1 year. It was It Takes Two. Then 2020 was Last of Us Part 2. 2019 was Sekiro. 2018
Was it really?
Yeah, 2018 was God of War 1 or God of War 2018, the first one of the North series. I forget what 2017 was, but then 2016 was Overwatch.
Right.
And then
I could probably just look it up on my phone.
yeah, I mean, if there's a Game of the Year edition, then I'm betting that there was.
Right.
It was.
Yeah, I
my
know
thought
Skyrim
process
won.
is like
Bethesda
that
has
game
a
has
lot.
problems, a ton of
But
problems.
Christopher Judge won best performance, and I just want that man to adopt me.
You want to be called boy?
Yeah.
I just want him to call me boy.
I want to play fucking Sony Santa Monica. I like Sonny Soljack. He's great. He's a great actor in your games, but he's not going to be big enough to be Atreus in the next game. He's half giant, okay? And I know not all giants are giant, but all giants are pretty big, okay? Kratos' wife was as big as him, okay? And she was a giant. So I'm putting my resume in to play adult Atreus because I am like 2 years older, 3 years older than Sonny.
And he will get jacked for it.
I'm just waiting for a part to come my way for me to
Get
lose
jacked.
weight. Bro, you guys know how scary I'd be if I was
Shredded.
Shredded. Dude.
like a god.
Hear me out. I have a plan for that. I want to get your thoughts on this. So I've been milling about the idea of making a short of Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
I need someone tall to wear a Predator suit.
Okay.
And I think that would be a pretty intimidating Predator that's 6'7", even though I don't remember how tall the original guy was. Massive.
Well, all I know is that the guy who played Thor, Randy something, I think. He played Gary Bertier, actually, in Remember the Titans. I don't know if you know that or not.
That was brought up one of these past episodes.
So he played Thor, and he's 6'5". I'm bigger than that. I'm bigger than Thor. And Thor's half giant in the game, and I think in real mythology.
Is Odin a giant?
No. His mom is
Aesir and Vanir gods?
Oh.
No, Jotnar is where giants are from.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Thor is, I think, half Aesir and Vanir.
In actual mythology.
If I remember the words. I think.
Well, in the game, he's half giant, and he kills giants, which is awesome. And then he hits a snake back in time. Jacksepticeye was so I watched. So I did my
weird euphemism, but
I did
all
my,
right.
No, he did though. Like he hits Jormungandr so hard in the game that he goes back to when he was born.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's an actual thing in mythology. I think it is off the top of my head. But so Jacksepticeye, I played my game playthrough, and then I went and watched Jacksepticeye and like went to the highlights just to see his reaction because he's the reason I like watched the first game. And he was like, "Yeah, they only did like 10% of Ragnarok in this game, which they would had to like bring it down some." I was just like, "Dang, that's crazy." But there's this moment in Ragnarok where the dark elves come over you, and they're like their wings are making like helicopter noises, and like it's. I just wanted that one song to play.
Fortunate
Pretty
Son.
meow. Yeah.
Because the Dark Elves are America.
God.
Well, because like they've been fighting for centuries, and then like fucking Freya's brother just is like, "I'll fix it. They like me there." I'm like, and the Kratos is like, "They've been fighting for centuries." And Sonny's voice isn't low enough either, and listen to his dad's voice. Just saying.
It's a fair enough point.
Sonny has a kind of a higher voice. I mean, he's a grown man, and his voice is like not.
How old is he now?
He's born in 2005, so he's 3 years younger than us. So he's 18.
Oh, wow.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that.
a weird realization, isn't it?
Wow.
Think about that.
That's how old Revenge of the Sith is.
Yeah. Think about that.
I remember watching that in theaters.
Oh no.
Okay, well, Connor stews in silence over there.
That's one of my first memories, at least of movie theaters.
I think my like earliest like I actually like remember the full experience was Iron Man 1. Like the full experience of going.
Yeah.
Like the full sequence of events.
Right.
The first movie I remember seeing is Spider-Man 2, but that's just because like, and I remember it. I didn't really like remember like taking in the plot lines because I was 3, but like, but yeah, I remember that. No, I was 2 actually. Wait, did Spider-Man 3 come out in?
I thought that
Spider-Man
was
2 come out in 2002?
I thought it was 04.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 I think was 04. Because it was 2
But
years
you're not
between
remembering
Spider-Man 1
3?
and Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 3 came out in 2007.
I remember fully Spider-Man 3. I remember being like, why is Peter acting like a meanie?
Because it's 2 years difference and then 3 years difference.
Okay.
Spider-Man 1 came out in 2002.
All I know is that I don't know if I could wait another 4 years for another God of War game, but I said that 4 years ago.
I think
for this
there's going to
game.
be something in the interim because
I
all
think
the new stuff that's happening.
what I want
with
to
it.
happen is I want them to do like a Miles Morales thing. Like, you know how like Spider-Man 1, and then they were like, "Hey, we're going to show you how we've updated our system with Miles Morales. It's not as long as the game, and you get to play with this new character." And then they're going to have Spider-Man 2 later next year, or mid next year. And I think they're going to have like an Atreus game, but that would already have to be in the works.
To be fair, we don't know what they already do have in the works.
Right.
Because it's harder for video game leaks to come out sometimes. Sometimes they're accurate and sometimes they're 100% off, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a complete chance that, like, there could be an Atreus thing in the works.
And
You
I wouldn't
can't
have
say
to
for
get
sure.
that shredded for for playing Atreus because they could just mocap me different.
Dude, the new Suicide.
true.
I'm actually really excited for the new Suicide Squad game now.
Oh, after the Batman teaser?
Because I was curious how they were going to treat Batman after Arkham Knight.
Is it the same universe?
That is the same universe.
Really?
And in the
that's
reveal
what they were
trailer,
advertising.
in the reveal trailer, Harley says Bruce.
Right. In
So
front of
it's-
the whole Suicide Squad.
Right. Well, I
So-
mean, he revealed his identity and then blew up the mansion, and
In Arkham Knights?
yeah, that's how the game
Did
ends.
that get any awards?
Good question.
I think it.
I don't think it got.
I think
maybe
it got
one or two.
nominated, but I
Yeah,
don't know
definitely
if it won
got
anything.
But also, like, it's gonna be the last time we hear Kevin Conroy as Batman.
Yeah, that is the last
That-
performance of Kevin Conroy.
I heard that. I was like, oh.
So prepare for a lot of thank you messages at the end of that game dedicated to Kevin Conroy specifically.
Yeah.
Think about how many kids adults that worked on that game watched the animated series as a kid.
Yeah, that hear his voice
Right.
every time
That's
they open a
Batman.
comic.
And they were probably like, guys, guess who we got for Batman? Kevin fucking Conroy. And everyone was like, oh shit! Kevin Conroy's going to voice Batman in our game. We don't have to go with some loser.
We don't have to go back to Troy Baker.
Right.
Or it wasn't Troy Baker. Who
Troy
did it?
Baker-
Troy Baker.
Troy Baker
I
did
wouldn't mind
Joker.
Troy Baker. I like Troy
Who
Baker.
did it in Origins?
I can't remember.
Because Troy Baker did Joker, and he actually does a really good.
Baker's
Joker.
like just
Yeah,
one of
that's
the
what-
best voice actors out there.
He did a Batman in one of the movies, and I don't remember which one it is, animated direct-to-video movie. And he does a really good job. He's also now the only voice actor to do both Batman, and Joker.
Troy
So
Baker
he's the only one to do that.
is honestly one of my, like, I look up to him. And this, if I was a voice actor, I'd be like, I dedicate my career to this guy because he inspired me a lot. But luckily, I don't have a career in the. And then I'd be like, also Christopher Judge.
Make a career. Just start doing voices. Put it on the internet.
Christopher Judge, man. If I ever got to meet him, because he was super excited that Al Pacino, that's his name, Al Pacino.
Al Pacino.
Like,
Scarface?
Yes.
presented him his award because at the end of his speech, he's
Yeah.
like, I just met Al Pacino.
Of all the things that I was like, I didn't expect from the Game Awards, that's the thing that stuck with me more than the kid.
Yeah.
Like the Bill Clinton kid was, Christopher Judge likes Al Pacino?
I mean, he's older, and like that would be like relevant. Like he'd be like a
It would
relevant
be.
actor.
I just didn't
for him.
expect it.
And Sonny's like, who's Al Pacino?
Which is apt.
Wait.
I don't think.
Sonny,
No, he
maybe
didn't. But I just imagine like Sonny sitting down and be like, who the fuck's Al Pacino? And he's like, I just want to go skateboard.
That's what he looks like.
He is a skateboarder.
Oh, I
And
know.
Christopher Judge is
But
like,
just like
boy, what the hell did you just say?
that's all he thinks about is what he looks like, though, is what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying. That, like, he looks like the dude that sits in the back of a high school classroom and he's like, yeah, I skateboard.
Yeah, skateboard.
And that's it.
He's Bart Simpson.
Yes, but with not as much personality, at least on the outward looks. I'm not like trying to actually.
All I
dog
know
on him.
is that
It's just
they-
it's like there's a personality
whole
type on
game-
an outward look.
The whole game, you're like playing Atreus, right? Not the whole game, but like there's parts of the game when you like, or when you like use your rage, you turn into a wolf and you fight as a wolf. But whenever you lose control, like in cutscenes, you turn into a bear, and it's like you're in Ragnarok and you're like, I was just back here, I was like screaming, I was like, bear, because you get to turn into the bear and fight as the bear, and it's like a giant bear. I'm like, whose bear is this? This is like the biggest bear ever. Because, like, the bear that he kills at the beginning of the game has cubs, and these cubs are, like, this big. I'm like, cubs are, like, this big. They're big for babies, but they're not this big.
They're big for babies.
You know?
Yeah, I get what you're
You
saying.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
All I could think of was Death Bear from regular show,
Death bear.
and he wears like a
Desmond
pickle
Bear.
halba and then like a cape.
Yeah.
He's just a giant bear that roundhouse kicks people to death.
Roadhouse. When I think of bears, I think of the bear from Madagascar 3.
Madagascar 3. Oh,
The one who rides the
that's-
motorcycle.
Yeah, that like unlocked a memory that I haven't seen that movie in
Yeah.
over 10 years.
What's that one guy? He's a
One guy.
YouTuber, and it's like he's in the Rocket Jump's newer show, the animated crimes division. He's that Asian guy. If you saw a
Freddie
pic,
Wong.
no,
Yeah,
no,
Like-
no,
I was
no,
like,
because I know who Freddie Wong
I
is.
was about to say.
He's the
keep going on your description.
he has like a bowl cut, and you got once I show you this picture, you're gonna.
Oh, is it that one dude that like does all those videos that's just kind of like close up, kind of rose to fame on Vine at first?
yeah, I think, because you're gonna see this guy and you're gonna be like, oh, that mother trucker.
Wears glasses, kind
Yeah.
of clean shaved, kind of a baby face.
That dude.
That's him.
That's Ratatoskr in God of
dude.
War, the squirrel.
yes.
Yeah.
He plays Ratatoskr.
Uh-huh.
Dude.
Which I'm like, man,
He
that's
got
pretty
in
cool. How did he get to do that?
because a lot of his videos.
I
I
know
don't.
the AT&T girl's playing another character.
I don't remember. Crap. What character is she playing?
Milana
Van Trub.
Van Trub.
Van Trub,
Van-
like
From
V and
what?
Trub. The AT&T lady.
And what?
She had a character in God of War too.
She did?
I think so.
Who?
I don't remember is the thing.
What?
It was a humanoid, I know that.
Well,
There was a lot of
That only
people that
narrows
like
it
when the
down
game
to
came out, and I
everyone.
was like, "Who is not in this game?"
I don't know.
Everyone's here.
Because I really liked the guy who played Odin, too. Like he did a great job. And then I don't know. So my whole time, the guy who plays Thor, I'm just like, bro, he sounds so much like Josh Brolin, Thanos. Like I'm just like, I just hear perfectly balanced as all things should be. I'm like, bro,
It's Thanos.
it's Thanos.
It's Thor.
But yeah, so like that, it's like so. The way they tackled like Loki giving birth to animals in the game is actually pretty good. So like
Yeah,
there's
like
these souls that you get.
the soul marbles.
Yeah, you put like souls into animals rather than birthing them.
instead of
I
getting
would like to see what that
sexually
would have
assaulted
looked
by
like.
a horse,
that,
like we
though.
talked about last episode.
They didn't even talk about the horse. Like the horse wasn't even in the game at all.
I can only imagine that they'll probably touch on the horse later because
Also-
it's,
They
already
said this is the last game, and
the Norse mythology
yeah.
series. But
Wait,
was that in,
yeah, there's only two
but is
because
that in reference
Ragnarok's
to,
the end.
Oh yeah.
and is that in reference to Kratos though, or to
I don't know because
Atreus?
well, and then Jack said that he didn't think the Egyptian gods would be like because that's like the big thing is like they think it's gonna be everyone thinks it's gonna be Egypt next.
It makes more sense than Japan.
Right, but he says I don't know if there's like enough things there. I'm like, you realize how many
I was
Egyptian
gonna say,
gods
do you
there
know how
are?
big Egypt
They
is?
we just see Kratos in the gates of heaven.
Well, and there's actually a
we see a cross
Right,
on the thing.
right.
Like,
Kratos takes on Jesus.
well, there's that sound that went viral from one of Jack's episodes where he's like, "What do you think when Kratos kills all the Norse gods, he's gonna go fight Jesus, and then he's gonna show up and he's gonna be like, why is he just a normal guy?" And then he's like, and then I saw people like building on the theory. It's like he's gonna go to Jesus. Jesus is gonna he's gonna
his
take the
sins.
ashes off of his skin. And he's gonna be normal. He's gonna like be able to put his past behind him because Jesus saves him.
All right. Because I know at one point there was an idea. This was a theory at one point that was going to be a prescribed script for a game. Like it was an early stages thing. It didn't go very far. Is that
Obviously.
you were going to meet
Obviously.
other gods of war from different pantheons, and there was going to end with Kratos, the Egyptian guy, and then someone else.
Probably Tyr, the Norse guy.
Probably. Or
Because the Norse gods were always somewhere in the works, I think, with God of War.
right. Norse gods were always something that they wanted to talk about.
And the
Egyptian
Egyptians.
and Japanese were some reason always out there, but it's like there's
Bro,
such
imagine
a
seeing
disconnect
Kratos
for
with
how
a
far
giant
they are.
fucking samurai sword.
Well, if you do Greek, you can't really do Roman.
Right. It's
Like,
basically
they're
it's
the
the
same
same
things.
things.
They
They
just
changed a
changed
few
the
names and a few
names, yeah.
stories.
I'm gonna
But
go
they
fight
were
Jupiter dog.
they're supposed to be the three wise men
Really?
that appear at the birth of Christ.
Are you serious?
That was apparently one of the proposed ideas until they were like, let's just stick to one pantheon at a time.
Well, see, because I think the plans for the third game originally were you were going to defeat Zeus at the start of it, and then
The other gods
Other
were
gods
gonna,
were gonna
it was
start
gonna be
coming
like
in.
a god's arm race.
to take over that territory. I think
That was the
my
proposed
sources
idea.
trust me, bro.
No, I'm being fully serious. That was the proposed idea. It's been a long time changing.
Yeah.
Like here we are now, and I think there's going to be a shift in what the games are. I think Kratos is going to become his own story, and Atreus is going to become his own story.
Well, I think I don't know. I really don't want. It'd be nice to see them retire Kratos as a character, but not nice because I don't really see you can't really do God of War without him.
Right. That's why I think
He
that
is
God
the-
of
he
War
is
is
the
going to
God of
continue
War.
as what it is, but Atreus is going to be a different thing.
Yeah, but they kind of like built up this relationship, though. You know, I feel like the next game is going to be just like this one in terms of gameplay, but you're going to play Atreus way more. than you did in this one.
But he's like on his own adventures now, though.
Only to get back all the giants. And I think that's like the next game is going to be them meeting back up at some point.
So what if
in
it ends
Egypt.
with the Great Flood?
I mean, you
that
realize
wiped
like
out
the
all
Great
the
Flood
giants?
isn't only in the Bible. Like it's
No,
in a
but the
bunch
reference of
different
killing the
religions.
giants, though, is what I was thinking of.
Oh.
Instead, it wipes out the giants again.
Hey guys, I woke you all back up so you could die.
That the Abrahamic God was just like, oh, screw the giants. And then they were like, all that work for nothing.
Another
Anyway.
thing that I'm really excited for that was at the Game Awards, Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
finally got some gameplay reveals.
Dude,
And supposedly there's a
that looks-
secret
Apparently they're
somewhere in
changing the
trailer.
combat up a lot.
Really?
That's what like was out there. It's like they're gonna change the combat is gonna be pretty different from the first game.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
because it's
New
EA
stuff.
and they like to change stuff.
Combat was fine.
Yeah,
But
this
it's
is just rumors I've
Respawn.
heard.
Stop it. Anyway.
I don't think it's changing for the worst. It's the fact that now the lightsaber plus a blaster and the
Yeah.
Force.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's a big thing in the new game is that
I
he'll
swear to
be carrying
God,
the
if he's
blaster.
like, I shut myself off from the Force again, and you have to relearn all your Force abilities, I'm gonna be mad.
You're going to have to relearn all your Force abilities because it's a skill tree system. That's just the way that games like that are.
Well, I imagine you'll probably have a few of the ones that you got in the previous game.
And I'm sure
Right
they'll
off
just
the
have
bat.
new ones. Because there's going to be new stuff because we see him with take the lightsaber apart versus having it also just as...
He could do that in the first
You
game.
could do that.
Could he do that in the first game?
Yeah.
I remember him just not
That was
turning
like
on
when
the
he-
second blade.
When he broke at the start of the game, you had your master's lightsaber, and it was broken on one end.
Right.
And then in the middle of the game, you fix your lightsaber just normally, so it's just like a dual-wielded lightsaber. But for some reason, it did more damage when you only had one blade, but it was better for deflecting blaster bullets when you had two blades out. I don't know. And then at the you break your lightsaber breaks, and then you have to fix it, and you use that one chick's with the bug eyes lightsaber to help, and then it detaches.
That's so mean.
She has bug eyes.
Yeah, no, the way that game is made
So
does not do that actress any justice.
No.
I know, but
Because in real life,
She's
she
always
looks
like-
like a normal person. And then for some reason, when they scan her into the game, it's like they do something to her eyes. It's like they give her Muppet eyes in the game. But in real life, she looks like a normal person.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I just forget that it's been so long since I played that game. I forget the character's name.
Oh, I have.
Oh, and she's gonna have a white lightsaber in this game. You know that?
When did we see that?
No, I just know that because she
Why?
took the Inquisitor's lightsaber at the end of the last game.
I swear to God, I hate that. I hate the whole idea of the healing crystals stuff.
She's no, you know that's gonna be a thing, dude.
But it's dumb.
Because it's like we don't have enough people who wield white lightsabers. You know what I do? You
Just
know
use
what
a
color,
red one.
You know what color we don't have enough of? Orange, okay? And I think they've actually come out and said that Cal's actual crystal is orange now. Like that's.
And then we
like
see a dude with an orange lightsaber in the trailer.
Is it not Cal?
No, he's fighting Cal.
Also, this one, like, people theorize that the dude that was in the pod is like a High Republic dude.
He wears gold robes later on in the trailer, which is very High Republic-y.
What if he's just a guard, a retired temple guard?
I mean, it still looks
Because
different.
that's gold
Well,
robes.
he was in a tube though. Like he wasn't retired. He did something, and it's an abandoned facility. And if it was a guard, I think they would just kill him. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Unless
think
he was
there's-
like because maybe so.
And
let's
also,
think this
Disney
out.
keeps trying to push
Say he
the
was a
High
guard.
Republic,
Right.
too.
But like, say he was a guard.
Slayer of Star Wars.
They've already had success with having guards become inquisitors. So what if he was just powerful and they wanted to like?
But I mean, the
Mind
facility
control.
looks not imperial,
Mm.
and like it's also been, like, what's the word I want to use?
Rapid.
Yeah, disrepair.
Mm.
And like Cal finds him, and then it becomes this new threat for some reason. Because you would think some dude that's been, stuck out of time, any given amount of time, people would be like, who's this weirdo with the weird glowy blue eyes?
Also, where's that girl from Dathomir?
Probably on the ship. I don't know.
I don't know.
They probably dropped her off somewhere, but she's a character that I want to see more of too, though. And we got a new bounty hunter dude that looks like Meek from Thor Ragnarok.
Hello, I'm Korg. It's my friend Meek. He has
I-
knives for hands.
I'm not over his weird little head and his giant robot body.
Then we also got another dude that it looks like you're gonna be able to do dual combat with people, like assisted combat.
That's what I was trying to figure out is what that is. That's the part that's going to throw off combat for me, I think. Because you're going to have like an NPC in your way. Because there's no way that that's going to be another player because that dude would also need a lightsaber and be able to do the same things as Cal. And by what we see in the trailer, he doesn't seem to have a lightsaber.
So we're gonna have like a buddy.
There's something.
Something.
Because you see like Cal falling off of a platform and like this dude pulls him back up, and then you see them doing combat with each other, and like Cal like throws him over his shoulder, and like the dude shoots some guys.
Yeah, but that's the same as like having Ellie or Atreus.
Well, yeah, but I mean like,
Speaking of Ellie,
who's to say that EA can do that
Right.
as well as those?
speaking of Ellie though, the Last of Us show is coming out soon.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they're
How do you think Peter? What's his name?
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal.
I mean, I think everyone that acts in that show is going to do great.
And that one girl from Game of Thrones is Ellie.
Is that who that is?
Uh-huh. She's that girl who's like, I'll kill everyone here, and she's like 10. But there was a picture on Ashley Johnson's Instagram of Troy and her, and then Pedro and that the girl. It's like the two Ellies and Jules. I don't know. I love that game.
I think this is what it comes down to. I think it's going to be a weird show in comparison to the game.
Oh, well, I think they're going to start off because we know the whole story now with
Right.
last part 2, but I think they're going to start at the top. You know, I think they're going to start at the beginning of the first game.
Oh, they're going to is the
Right.
thing, and I think that's where the problem lies with like a lot of these video game type stuff is that like they can't just let it be.
Well, think about how many people. Well, think about it from this point of view. There's so many people out there who will never play the game, and it's such a great story. I feel like they kind of want to share it with more people, and that's why they're doing a show.
But I think that lies the problem of the idea of how it is taken in. It's a media that's meant to be played. That's like if I wrote an entire paper about a painting, but no show an actual picture of the painting. It's not the medium that it's meant for. I can describe the Mona Lisa to you, but it's not the same thing.
Can you
Do you
It's a
see
picture
that?
of
That
a
is the
woman.
exact problem of what I'm saying.
describe the Mona Lisa to me?
It's a woman sitting in front of a landscape with a smile. Do you see my problem?
Yeah,
This-
but like I feel like they could. I mean, and they're never gonna do a 1-to-1 adaptation of the game, right?
That's why I think it's futile for them to even try making something that's like a difference of medium in such a drastic way like that.
It worked for Resident Evil.
It didn't work for Resident Evil, though.
I mean, it didn't, but like people still like the movies.
It worked for Harry Potter.
It's because those movies
worked
are
for
also
The
better
Hobbit.
than those books. It didn't work for The Hobbit.
It worked for Lord of the Rings.
It still missed a bunch of stuff. There's certain
Because we
things
need
that are
a scene of him falling asleep on a hillside, missing the battle.
not referencing The Hobbit, referencing Lord of the
Rings.
There's so many things that when you change mediums like that, it just loses a lot of what makes
Yeah,
it
but
what
it doesn't mean they're
is.
bad.
It doesn't. The Lord of the Rings are great movies, and the books are great too. Harry Potter exists, and the movies are great. The books are really boring.
You just offended so many people.
I did. I've tried reading them.
But that's the same thing. It's like a game and a movie.
I
And apparently they're gonna make a God of War show now.
I think it's harder when it comes to movies versus games
Who's
versus
gonna
books
play
to movies.
Kratos?
That's the thing. So
Christopher Judge wants to.
well, I wouldn't mind Christopher Judge, but
He's a massive man.
but think about it. Christopher Judge is Kratos now.
as long as you
Are we
don't say
doing a
Jason
show of him
Momoa.
in Greece still, or are we doing Boy and God? Because if we're doing old school Kratos, I don't think Christopher Judge could do it. I feel like he is.
Dwayne
We know
Johnson.
him now as the wise older Kratos, but
Johnson.
I don't think he has the temperament to do. I mean, I'm sure he can try and do a good job.
Stop saying all of those names. That's up there with like Jason Momoa. That's
Yeah, I do not
all of
want
that-
Jason Momoa to be Kratos.
Everyone's
Everyone
like-
loves that idea, and I'm just like, no.
no.
What if
Jason,
he's
like-
Lobo?
No.
You don't want
Hell no.
Who would you rather be there?
Carl Urban. Carl Urban would be perfect as Lobo. Carl Urban's perfect for most comic book roles, to be honest.
Yeah.
Lobo has a certain amount of like, he's a drinker and he's a partier, but he's not a woo, I'm a party guy. He's not that. You know what I'm trying to
Right.
say? It's more along the lines of, they don't call me the main man for nothing. And Jason Momoa isn't that. And every character that he plays is not that, no matter how hard he tries.
I think he only I feel like the reason people fan cast him for things is that he only
He's
has the
large.
look.
He's just a large man
He has
that's
the look.
muscular.
Like, the beard and the hair is the only reason people put him in Lobos.
It's true.
The beard is the only reason people put him as Kratos. But people don't realize
Because if you shave his
there's
head, he just looks wrong.
if there is a God of War show, I very highly doubt they're going to start in the Norse stuff because that's
Right.
not. And I don't think They'd have to be someone who's already bald, and someone who's can be that vengeful, mean.
I think they need
person.
someone who's going to be slightly younger that they can milk for a period of years.
But I would love to see
Henry
a
Cavill.
show of where Christopher Judge plays Kratos, like of the newer Kratos. But I doubt that they're gonna do a God of War show and have it start in Norse mythology, because people think about how many people who would go to that show, never playing the games, not knowing who Kratos is, and be like, how the hell, who's this guy? How is he the God of War? When we're talking to the God of War right here. You know? Like, we need this story before this story. Because I feel like this story is the story that people wanted to make into a show. But those people are forgetting that there's, like, 8 games that exist of the Greece mythology games.
Yep. It's all about the medium.
And that's why
and
that's
when you
another
change the
reason
story,
I think
it
Last of
creates
Us
problems.
is a good story to turn into a show, because I feel like they're targeting people that haven't played the games.
They're targeting
a
the
new
Walking
audience.
Dead fans.
Yeah, they're targeting
And
all the
that's-
zombie apocalypse
Now's
fans
going
that
to be
have
a
nowhere else
good
to
time
go.
to release it, because The Walking Dead's ending, and it's going to be picking up. It's going to be picking up all the slack right there.
All the people that are too into zombies.
I like Last of Us zombies more than,
It's because they're actually interesting.
and
They're
it's because
slightly
it could
different.
actually happen. Not really, but like that disease that infects humans in that game is that algae. That infects
they
the
based it
ants.
off of a fungus.
Right.
It's
So the
yeah.
flood.
And
It's
I
the
mean,
flood.
look at all the HBO. Look at the HBO original. Most HBO originals
They look good.
do good and
They're
are
well
good
made.
shows.
I think it's going to be better than like the Halo Paramount series.
Oh God.
But that's what I think of when people like try to make video game type stuff. Is like
The
Resident
Doom-
Evil,
the
Halo,
Doom movie.
Doom.
But like you're describing you're describing games like to me like
That wouldn't be able to be adapted.
that aren't like those
So-
games. The stories aren't the main plot. I mean, like Doom, yeah, but like Doom. The whole point, the appeal to Doom is you're running around destroying things.
Shooting
there's
things.
There's no story. There's a story, but it's underlining. They put the story there for
So-
relevance to guide you to.
So you would say the medium is what makes the story relevant.
right,
What Wyatt has been saying.
right. But I'm saying with with the Last of Us,
The Last of Us, when you put it into a show or movie format, is not special.
I feel like it
is
could
the
work.
Thing.
How?
It's just another Yojimbo story, essentially. It's the Mandalorian. It's that same style of Yojimbo, samurai, wasteland walker, lone wolf warrior.
Finds little kid.
It's that story. Japanese movies have been doing it since the 50s. Stories have been doing it since forever. These type of movies have existed forever, and arguably Star Wars even fits into that role in the very bare minimum. It's that same thing. It's going to be the same story over and over again. It's just that now they're adapting a video game into a show. This story's been told before, but people are going to treat it like it's new, but it's not. The video game is what makes it special because you're playing that story. You don't see that many video games that are like that. That's why I think the new God of War games work with that very well. And that's why The Last of Us did so well originally. I don't think it was the zombies as much as the emotional connection that you gain as a player being the focus of that type of story. It changes the way that it's taken in. But when you put it into a format where you aren't the one playing it, you're watching it, it's basically the same story you've already seen before. I think that's what makes The Last of Us special, because the zombies are just zombies. You have a few things that are creepy, and the ideas, and some of them are beautiful in terms of monsters. But in the end, it is another zombie game.
Yeah, but let me put this out there. Nick Offerman's going to be in this.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm here for Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman's gonna be in The Last of Us.
I think he's
Yeah,
going
I
to be the
don't
guy
remember
you
what
meet in the
character it is.
town. You remember when you go to the town and you get the
Oh,
truck
yeah?
from the guy you get the truck from?
Yeah.
I think he's going to be that character.
Mm.
That sounds right.
And aren't they like changing Pittsburgh out for Kansas City?
Are they?
I think
would
so.
love
Is that true? I thought that was just a rumor.
No, I think they are.
That'd be cool. I mean,
It'd be more exploratory of the like Midwest.
Which a lot of people really downplay in media. It's like, you know how large the Midwest is?
it's the biggest region.
Like, people don't understand that, like, people live here.
This is the majority of the United States.
And people treated it like, oh, those are the flyover
In terms of
states.
landmass.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was
Yeah, like not in population, which I think is also what would change the idea of zombie stories. Midwestern zombies is going to be different than Southern zombies, and that's going to be different than New York zombies.
Well, and see, think about it though, because in Last of Us, you're not really coming across like hordes of zombies like you do in like The Walking Dead.
It's treated more like a virus.
Right. It's treated, yeah, for sure. Because like in Last of Us, it doesn't really takes long, but it doesn't really take long for them to like rebuild. You know, because like at the beginning of Last of Us, you like there's like cities or like there's like a city,
Right.
like a full-fledged city. They just like fenced it in, and they're good.
They work. They function.
And then at the beginning of Last of Us 2, you're in your like gated community.
I think The Last of Us, in terms of zombies, in that type of way,
Like
makes
the
more
It's much
sense
more-
than The Walking Dead.
Right, is much more realistic because I'm like, you're telling me that a virus, it would run wild. But you're
Right.
telling me it would completely wipe out everyone?
No.
And it definitely
shot.
wouldn't create
No
like
shot. We have fighter jets.
And
We have tanks.
and everyone on a
we
like
would
there's at least
nuke
one person.
ourselves.
There's at least one person on the street that has a gun.
Yeah, I guarantee in almost anywhere you go in the United States, especially where it starts in, what is it, Atlanta?
Yeah.
You know how many guns there are in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm counting the number that we were able to count. That's legal firearms.
Yeah.
We're talking about Atlanta.
There's so many zombies. Well, I think season 1 of The Walking Dead is really good.
I would agree with that.
Is really good. And like the end of season 2 and maybe even season 3. Maybe until they get to the prison. The prison's where it starts to go
After the
downhill.
governor, it's straight down.
But yeah, but that's when the director changed, and that's when a bunch of people got written off the show because they didn't like that.
And
like
a lot of
like
people
Rick's wife,
started getting
like
in the
John
show.
Bernthal, like they got written off that show because they went against the
Director.
not the director, the
Showrunner.
well
what's
they
the word
wanted
we're
the
looking
old
for?
one. I'm
Right.
looking for the company that like
AMC.
AMC. They went against them because they're like, no, we're gonna do this, and they're like, well, we're not working. And they're like,
Okay.
bye, you're dead. I mean, it's a zombie show. Like you have to die at some point. They killed Carl, man.
kill the kid. Yeah.
Carl.
In the comics, he's the one that is like the last alive,
I know. Man.
which I think is really nice.
That he's the last one?
Yeah,
Or the-
because
that the
I mean
fact
he
that they
was
killed
a
him.
kid,
Right.
like in the comics is like the way that's
Probably
conducted.
he has the most experience with it.
Like that's his life, guys.
Yeah, literally.
Like everyone else got to grow up in normal world. That's he had to grow up in Zombieland, dude. Zombieland. How are those zombies?
I enjoy the first movie. Second movie's it's
I
the
still
same
haven't
movie,
seen the
but with
second movie.
hippies.
I still haven't seen the second movie.
There's a cool idea for a tower. That's it.
A tower?
Yeah. So like the way the people survive in that one is that there's a tower civilization and it's just full of hippies, and they have no guns, and you can figure out where the plot goes from there.
They just the one zombie gets in and kills them all.
They find out about zombies. So zombies evolve,
Right.
and they can like be faster, stronger, and then that's when they're like, "Oh, these hippies are gonna die. We should leave the city."
So I think if there was a real life zombie apocalypse, I think the world would turn into more of a Hunger Games scenario, where the America, at least America, is split up into different places. It's like there's a farming place, there's the capital, and then maybe not the people going head to head in an arena, but like it would be more like that setup. In
Oh,
America.
kind of like the movie Fido.
Yeah.
That's a zombie
Right.
apocalypse that became under control, but it's like in the 1950s.
Mm.
So imagine Night of the Living Dead, but they got the zombies under control.
Okay. Well, so but you know what I'm saying though. Like take like the world layout for Hunger Games.
You'd have these places that are for this, these places that
Yeah.
are for this, commonwealths.
Right. But there'd just be zombies. It'd just be one of those things we have to, like crackheads. It'd just be one of those things we have to deal with.
Just your local zombie crackhead.
Remember to gaslight your local zombie.
Every so often. That's why I
And would
think, like-
zombies be able to make noise?
so it
I
depends
feel like
on
it'd be
how you-
much more like of a hiss rather than the.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. It
you know?
depends on the zombie. If we're
Yeah.
going by like decaying corpses, it'd be like a.
Right.
It wouldn't even be that because they're not breathing technically, but
Right.
they wouldn't function if they didn't breathe. So, take that as you will.
Because the part of the brain, if we're talking about The Walking Dead, a part of the brain is reawakening, so they'd have to have some supply of oxygen to the brain.
Right. And then you got stuff like Night of the Living Dead where they kind of expand on it in a different way, where it's like they're dead but not in the same way.
Right.
So they can make some noises, eventually kind of learn some things. do some actions. And then you got other stuff like 28 Days Later that are also zombies technically, and then stuff like the Crazies, which I call zombies, but it's a virus that just makes you angry.
Oh.
So there's
Well,
that.
like the Last of Us zombies, like that's like a fungus taking you over. So like, it's the fungus is controlling the body.
I mean, there's like ants that have to deal with that.
Right, and they just
Right.
kind of become a drone, if you will.
Yeah.
They become aggressive to some other ants to a certain degree, but they still don't do much. They just kind of become like a hive for the fungus to grow more spores.
I don't know if you guys think about it as much as I do, but I think about it a lot. Like, what would I do if apocalypse were to break? A zombie one. Not like a nuclear fallout or like anything, but like specifically zombie one. I don't know why I'm so prepared for this situation, but I am.
Because it's the one that's the most outlandish, but yet the most interesting.
Yeah.
Because nuclear war is just depressing.
Yeah.
But zombies are interesting.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about melting our faces off.
And nuclear winners and
eating our faces
radiation.
off.
My
Can go there.
you don't have
my
to
thing
worry
is
about
that, like, I doubt
beta
a
rays
zombie
affecting the water.
I
Right.
doubt a zombie apocalypse would start though, because where it would start, I mean, honestly, they would just declare martial law and kill everyone.
My thing is with the zombie apocalypse is if it gets so bad to the point where like it expands outside of a zone like that
Yeah.
and it becomes Walking Dead style. How many nuclear power plants are there in the world?
A lot.
How many of them have fail-safes that you can actually trust?
I don't know.
How many of them can just be shut down and have no maintenance? How many of them would go into meltdown?
Probably a lot.
That's where my problem would come from. And like that's never discussed in any media ever. It's like, you know how much infrastructure would just like go down the toilet if we talk about it in this way?
My thing is how does it start in one place and then like I can see it completely overtaking one half of the earth, but how is the other half being taken over by it too?
Planes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it becomes a carrier system. Have you seen Planet of the Apes, like the newer
Yeah.
ones?
Mm-hmm.
And then like that first newer one, there's like the ending scene where the dude has the virus and he dies and it kills out so many humans.
Okay.
But it's also the same thing. It makes monkeys smart.
Okay.
That. Because he was an airline pilot. And all it takes is one guy to get it. And if he drips some kind of bacteria onto this person, they have it and they can spread it to, like, say, a minimum of 5 people. That's another minimum
like
of 5.
Bro, and
for
what
each
about
of
like
those
island
people.
tribes, dude? And like
Island
jungle warfare. Like, do you think they would thrive? I mean, do you think that they would even change? Specifically island people.
Yeah, people, like, on individual islands, maybe.
Like, would Hawaii be safe? Probably not Hawaii.
Well, yeah, maybe not Hawaii, but, like, let's say
Because
places
that's, I
that
feel
are
like,
further in the
touristy.
Pacific, or, like, it's like Guam.
Like Samoa.
Like, let's say Guam cuts off all outside interaction.
Right.
They'd probably be safe.
Probably Samoa,
To
too.
a certain degree.
For a while.
I don't know much
until
about
they
Samoa.
until they
Bro,
run
if
out
you
of-
go to
about Guam.
Samoa, dude, and there's Samoan zombies, dude, you're fucked. Those are going to be some big-ass zombies. Those are going to be Maui zombies, dude. And they're going to kick your ass.
Can I say except?
If they're anything like football players, you're dead. Remember, I lined up against one football player. It was my freshman year, and he was a senior, and he played for Fort O. And he got down, and he was like, "Argh!" I was like, I'm going to die. Guys, he literally made that noise. He gets down, and he gets down like this. And he slams his fist down, and he goes, "Argh!" And he's got his hair flowing in the back. I'm like, I'm going to die. You can go by. I'm not going to protect the
Coach, I
quarterback. I'll give you a free window. This is gonna be your game. You're gonna be on ESPN tomorrow. Guys, it was the scariest thing in my life. And he was as big as me too. Like, cause I was like 6'4" freshman year, right? But like he was like as big as me, but he was like a grown man. Cause he was like a man, cause he was like a senior, and I was like still like, what's puberty? You know, so like this guy gets down. He's hairy. He's buff. You know, like
I can't hear you guys making noises like that without thinking of the Joe Rogan bear
I
thing.
know that.
That's all I can think of.
I think
For some reason, it also reminded me of Markiplier going, "Baby,
baby, baby, come back.
I want an audio clip of like bear noises from Joe Rogan with Markiplier shouting. I don't
Like,
know why.
what's
Can
that?
Make that happen.
What's that? What's the game? You have to put the game where you climb the mountain too. Getting over it.
Getting over it
You
with
have
Bennett
to-
Foddy?
Yeah, you have to add sound effects from Markiplier from that game too.
Where he's losing it.
Yeah. Fuck you! Fuck That's my favorite Markiplier rage.
That was the game that made him throw his chair, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it was.
That became one of my favorite memes recently with they put like Bones by Imagine Dragons over it. So it's like the Boys commercials from Amazon. So as soon as he throws it, you just hear the song kick in.
Oh my
and it just
God.
says The Boys.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Or a lot of it's him pulling out a gun on someone.
Dude, I don't know why this meme has been coming up on my For You page so much though. It's like me buying $150 worth of stuff. The cashier ringing up $150 worth of stuff I got. My 100% off coupon. I'm like, I don't know why that's so funny. It's joking about robbery and killing cashiers.
It's really funny. At least threatening them.
But
I like all the very similar vein. It's like all the Mississippi Queen memes, and it's
Yeah.
all just gun internals functioning. One of them was a nuclear bomb.
now.
One of them says when some silly airplanes decide to bomb your harbor.
Oh God.
And it
I made
showed
a-
a nuclear bomb
made
going
a-
off to Mississippi Queen.
I made a 9/11 joke the other day at work.
You work in
I know.
an airport.
I know.
Gary.
But I was like, you guys could tell that my generation wasn't born for this because we
Dude,
make
I've
jokes about
been
it.
saying that at work that like it's not the same to people that have like
Guys,
alive,
and I made it to a
truly
guy who
alive.
was in New York working for an airline that day. He was working for Delta.
Where's
He
my
was
water?
he was working for Delta Airlines
Yeah.
on that day in 2001, and he was gonna go into work, and he was like, "Hey, do I need to go into work? Come in." And they were like, yeah, no, you're good. Stay home."
Called into work and he's like, so I
So,
turned on the TV.
So I don't know.
Do I-
Do we have any flights today?
Do I
No,
come into
all
work?
the
I
planes
don't
are
know. What
grounded.
is the protocol for this?
You know, my mom was working for the airlines too when that happened. She was working for Vanguard. I don't know if you guys remember that airline,
No.
but
I
it
remember
got.
hearing about
I
it.
mean, all the planes got grounded.
But
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
but my mom was at the airport MCI that day,
Dude.
and so was my neighbor. He's like, it was crazy walking into work with snipers on the building. And in Kansas City, there were snipers on our airport
Well,
building.
yeah, because
But like,
we're like one of the economic centers.
Center of the country. Never know what's gonna happen.
dude, that's why I think we're gonna get bombed, dude.
Oh, we're the second bombing run. So hear me out. It's because of how far in we are. So if we're gonna be bombed by a foreign country,
It's gonna be on the coast, then the
coast
Midland.
first.
Yeah,
Ideally, they'd want east because that's where the
If they
infrastructure
could
of the
get, if they
government
could get
itself
that
is.
far.
right.
Right. They have to get across the ocean first.
I feel like they for political reasons they go for DC, or for pure casualties, New York.
Or LA.
Bro, do you know how catastrophic it would be if a nuclear bomb went off in downtown Manhattan?
Well, that was the plan in like World War II.
Right.
That was the German plan, was get the bombs going, drop it in New York like it's hot.
Dude, that millions.
That was
Millions.
German nuclear bomb plan. In which I say, do you know what would have happened if they nuked New York? Germany wouldn't exist.
Yeah. There'd be a hole in the middle of Europe.
There would be a landlocked sea in the middle of Europe. There would be a glowing sea in the middle of Europe. That would have given America the balls to been like, Soviet Union, try it. Do it. Try something.
God.
We'd be dictators.
We would be a menace. A bigger menace. We're already the biggest menace. We would be the dictators.
I mean, you saw what we did to Japan after they dropped
We
a few
m-
measly bombs on us. We dropped the bomb on them
We-
twice. Twice!
I want to put this out there for Japan's history. 1800s. We knocked on their door and was like, "Hey, you guys want to trade?" And they were like, "Nah." We were
Too
like,
bad.
"Are you sure?" And then a few years go by. World War I happens. We split up some colonies after fighting with Germany in World War I, and Japan gets a few, and they're like, "We wanted more." We were like, "Tough."
Say it again.
Suck it. And that was essentially
Yeah.
what we did. And then they were like, "So what can we do about America? They're building a lot of fleets, but we can't just go to war with them. We need their oil." And then it was like, "I have an idea." So you know Hawaii? And then America heard about that. It's like, "So, we heard you like cats. Be prepared for cat boys."
Oh, God.
We nuked a country so hard that we took away their warrior heritage and made them like cat boys as their national thing that comes out most. Like, what's the word? Export.
Yep.
Their export is cat girls.
That's kind of That's kind of a fucked up statement.
150 years of a country's history went from
Warriors?
samurai in the 1800s dying, the Battle of Shirayama, to now. And their main export is Mario and cat girls. Pokemon, yeah. And it's still a proud country with a strong heritage, and a lot of the people that still follow
I heard about this
traditional
thing,
warrior
though.
path became the Yakuza, but
I heard about this thing, though, where you can go there and have a few children.
go on, Heath Ledger.
And then leave.
Russia had a deal like that for a short
They're
time,
kind of
too.
doing what the Amish are doing because,
And then they went
you know,
to
like the
war with
average
Ukraine.
age there is 60-something.
In Japan?
Yeah, it's crazy
That-
old for the average citizen. That's the average.
That's messed up. That's actually that's worse than America. That can't be true.
Not the average lifespan. The average living person.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying lifespan.
No, not the lifespan. The average person,
like the average person there is just like a 60-year-old person.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of young people.
There's not a lot of young people. There's not a lot of old people. There's just it's mostly.
I can only imagine why there's not that many old people. They didn't exactly get the baby boomer rush.
I mean, they got a boomer rush.
Shut the fuck.
On that note, we are out of time for this week's episode of the podcast. Please make sure to leave a like if you haven't already. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Please make sure to not report this video to your local government.
Oh, God.
They're already listening. No one got me like I know my NSA agent got me.
Wyatt, what's the secret word for this week's episode?
Ragnarok.
That's a good one.
I feel Ragnarok approaching. God damn.
And anyway, thank y'all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.